guys, how's it going? It's me, Smurf Girl. So I want to talk about the multi-leveled scam that is Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, otherwise known as the Jehovah's Witness religion. It's a multi-leveled scam on several different levels, very multiple aspects of it. And I want to start out with the premise of it. The 1914, Jesus' invisible coming. And that basically is off of the premise of the emperor in his new clothes, the fairy tale, where the emperor was sold these magical new clothes. He was offered by this little old man, comes to his kingdom, and he says, I have some magic clothes for you, and only someone pure of heart can see them. And they're spectacular. You're going to love them. All I need is a room and a loom in your castle, and I'll make them for you. And the emperor was like, well, of course, I'm pure of heart. Of course. Make them for me. I can't wait. And so he gives them a room and he gives them a loom, and he's working at them, and it's taking extra long. And people are checking on him, seeing how he's doing. And he's sitting in an empty loom. They see his arms are going all crazy and he's working. But it looks like he's working on nothing. So they go in and they ask him, what are you doing? He says, what do you think? Isn't it spectacular? Look at this fabric. It's so light and airy, it's practically invisible. Only someone pure of heart can see it. Well, of course, they didn't want to appear like they weren't pure of heart. So they say, oh, yes, I see exactly what you're saying. Oh, the emperor is going to love this. So they report back to the emperor of how spectacular this fabric is, and he's just going to love it. So eventually the clothes are done. And he presents them to the emperor, and the emperor doesn't see anything, but of course he's too proud to admit he can't see anything. And he says, wow, those are the most spectacular clothes I've ever seen. Because he wants to appear pure of heart. Because he thinks everybody else can see them. Everybody else has been talking about, wow, the emperor's going to love these clothes. They're beautiful. So he doesn't want to appear like he's the only one in the room who can't see anything, is the only one who's not pure of heart. So it's like, try them on, your majesty. So he takes off his regular clothes. He strips down nude. And he puts on nothing. These invisible clothes. Just like the invisible Jesus of Jehovah's Witnesses. And he prances himself up and down the town square because everyone in the kingdom has been hearing about these magical clothes. And they see he's naked, but they're all too afraid to say anything. They don't know how he's going to react. So they ooh and they ah. Oh my goodness, I see them too. They're beautiful. But there's a small boy amongst all the adults, and he doesn't understand what's going on. He just sees a naked emperor, and he starts to laugh and point. He's like, the emperor's naked! How funny! And people realize, here's this innocent young boy. Of course he's pure of heart, and if he doesn't see anything, I don't see anything either. And so they all start to point and laugh, realizing the emperor got duped. Nobody sees anything. Now, I don't know how that fairy tale ends in reality, but if that emperor was a governing body member, or if he was just a regular Jehovah's Witness, he would be too proud to admit he was standing there naked, too proud to admit he got duped, and he would have looked at everybody in the kingdom and said, you just can't see these beautiful clothes because you're not pure of heart. You're all disfellowshipped. Now get out of my kingdom. And he would have went back up to Warwick, to his castle, and he would have sat there in an empty kingdom, too proud to admit that he fell for the old invisibility trick. Because that's what it's called. The old invisibility trick. Claiming something is invisible when in reality it just doesn't exist. And that's what happened with the Jehovah's Witnesses. They fell for the old invisibility trick. And there are a lot of other circumstances in recent occurrences where it's called catfishing, where someone will pretend to be someone else and they'll catfish them over the internet, and they'll promise marriage and love, and all I need is like $5,000 to get my passport, and then I'll marry you, I'll leave my country, and I will come to where you are, and we'll live happily ever after. You just need to help me get to where you are. I'm trapped in my country. And people will fall for that. They'll fall for it just for the promise of something, the promise of love, or the promise of everlasting life on a paradise on earth. And they'll send money to try and get that person a passport or whatever. And there's always something else, oh, I got my passport, but now I need help to get out of my lease, or I need help, there's some fee or some fine, or there's always a delay, where whatever they promise can't be fulfilled because of some reason. Just like the Jehovah's Witness religion with 1975. Well, we didn't promise it was going to be Armageddon. We alluded to it. You jumped ahead. You're the ones who got all excited about it. Maybe the calculations were wrong. And so then the person will keep asking for more money. I just need a few more $100, and then I promise I'll fulfill what I promised you, and we'll live happily ever after, and I'll marry you. And there's been people on Dr. Phil where they've brought their family members to Dr. Phil, and he tries to prove to them, this picture that this man sent you, that's not even him. Here's the man, and this is the man in the picture. He's happily married, living in Wisconsin, and the person you've been talking to is living in Nigeria. You're not even talking to the person you think you're talking to. It's a scam, don't you understand? You got catfished. And they won't believe it. The majority of the time, nope, he loves me, and nope, all I need to do is send him enough money and he'll be able to get out of his country and come and marry me, and we're going to live happily ever after. I would say at least 50% of the time, they don't listen. And there's also where people will send out emails. I'm Princess so-and-so, and I need help getting my $50 million inheritance. If you just help me, if you send me some money, because the bank is keeping it, and I just need to pay this $25,000 fine to release it from the bank, and I'll split my inheritance with you. I'll give you $25 million and I'll keep $25 million. If you just send me some money to help me get my inheritance released, everything will be perfect. And people fall for those emails. They'll send money. It's like, no, I'm helping Princess so-and-so. She emailed me special. I'm one of the select few that she asked me to help her get her inheritance. And she's going to split it with me. And that's what the governing body do. They say, we're going to inherit God's kingdom. You're going to be our earthly subjects, and you're going to share our inheritance. And you're going to live in a paradise on earth. And we're going to rule over you from heaven, and it's going to be perfect. It's going to be wonderful forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You'll have no more worries, no more pain, no more suffering, no more tears. If you just assist us, preach God's kingdom and do all of this, and we'll share our inheritance with you. Just like those emails. And there's always another delay. Just a little while longer. We're in the last days, the tippy top of the end of the last days. And if you just keep preaching, you're going to get it. If you just do a little bit more, you're going to get it. Just send us a little bit more money and you're going to get it. And they fall for it time and time again because they're told over and over, just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, we promise. And by the time it's too late, the Jehovah's Witnesses are already dead. Once you're dead and you realize nothing's going to happen, you can't go collect and say, hey, I want a refund. You promised me paradise and it never happened. They know they're never going to have to pay up. And just like with these people with these emails and these catfishes, they can just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off until either you get fed up and give up, or you stay on the hook and you keep sending them money, either which way. And you'll never be able to find them. You'll never be able to ask and get your money back because you don't even really know who they are. And that's exactly what's happening with the Jehovah's Witnesses. They're standing on that street corner, basically naked, wearing the emperor's new clothes, preaching like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Armageddon's going to happen any second. Any second now, Armageddon's going to happen and the sky is going to fall. And Armageddon's going to happen. We promise. And they forward this scam to other people so that the next generation can fall for it, and the next generation can fall for it, and the next. Because soon everything will be fulfilled. The governing body promised us. It's the ultimate catfish. It's the ultimate scam. And it carries on from generation to generation to generation. And not one member of the Jehovah's Witnesses has gotten what they were promised. Not one. Not one Jehovah's Witness is living in paradise. Not one Jehovah's Witness has lived forever. Not one. And how do you explain that to someone? Even Dr. Phil couldn't do it. Half the time, Dr. Phil can't even prove to people that they've been ripped off. But the Jehovah's Witnesses fell for the old invisibility trick. In one simple sentence, they fell for the old invisibility trick. And you know what, Jehovah's Witnesses, if you're listening, I've got an invisible bridge to sell you too. If that's what you're into and that's what you fall for, I definitely have an invisible bridge to sell you as well. Stop getting catfished by the governing body. Stop falling for them promising to share their inheritance with you. Because they can't promise you that. They're not God. They claim to be Jesus's brothers. What a claim. What an absolute claim to make. And they promise you things they can't guarantee you. And no Jehovah's Witness has ever gotten their reward yet. But the governing body claim they go up to heaven right away. They get their reward right away. That really doesn't seem fair. And you shouldn't follow men who can't keep their promises. And they don't have any proof that they can. Anyone who keeps making promises and keeps saying, just a few more minutes, just a few more days, just a few more years, it's going to happen. Charles Taze Russell was the ultimate con man. He sold a group of individuals something invisible, an invisible Jesus. I mean, that should literally be a crime. Don't ever fall for something invisible. Like literally. So, and the last thing you want is to look like a fool, like the emperor, and walk up and down the town square wearing invisible clothes, walking down the town square naked, and then you wonder why people laugh at you. Like, don't be surprised when people laugh at you, because that's what happens. When you do something like that, don't be shocked and don't be angry. So anyway, that's all I have to say. And until next time, this is Smurf Girl, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like, maybe even comment. If you watched it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching, and bye for now.